Hello guys, Andy back here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you day 3 of questing night week. The first two have been a great success. We have finished off, of course, our first 2 questing nights, one in the red and white scheme and one based on my Patreon's family crests. So for the very tippity top tier of patrons, I'm going to be doing one questing night for each of those guys in their family crests. So yesterday was Mr. Ralron. Today is going to be Tim Hobby, and they were at the start of this the only 2 people at the start of the highest tier of Patreon, but another person has signed up yesterday. My guess is because they wish to see one of the nights painted up as a questing night, so that will be Thursday's video, and there's still one slot available for Friday, so either someone else joins and I do their family crest, or we just go ahead and pick a custom scheme of my own choosing. Those are the options available to us. So if you are interested in getting involved in my Patreon, helping support the channel, there are links in the description below, access to a private Discord server and an extra vlog series video every single day, keeping you guys in the loop of what's happening on the channel and helping you guys help me kind of fixate on the direction of the channel goes, picking different videos to do and where my focuses should lie. So those things are available to those Patreon members, like I said, linked down below. So, like I said, we have 2 guys finished. We have 1 guy half done. We did him on my Twitch stream last night, and we will finish him off on tomorrow's Twitch stream. That's Thursday's Twitch stream, 8 p.m. Irish time. You can check it out if you are interested. And then, of course, 2 more guys to get done for Thursdays and Fridays videos. So, fun times ahead. I'm looking forward to seeing the end of this week and the completion of Questing Night Week. So, yeah, let's see how today's one goes. It is very much a trickier scheme than yesterday's one, and I'm going to try and pull it off to the best of my abilities, so wish me luck. Okay, so questing night day 3, and this is the awesome sculpt that I have chosen for the Raymond coat of arms. Raymond is probably my oldest living friend. Not that many of my friends have died. I don't know why I said living friend there. That's bizarre, but yes. So he has been by my side for many years now. He worked with me in Games Workshop for about a decade, I suppose. So to say that we're pretty close would be cutting it short. Best man at his wedding, God's father to one of his children, all that kind of jazz. So I wanted to do a really good job for his particular night. And his coat of arms is an awkward one because at heart he is an American. He was born in the Americas and he has returned home. So his coat of arms is kind of all over the place. There's about 4 or 5 different Raymond coat of arms. And he actually had to go away and try and figure out which one was actually his. Eventually we settled on one that was a yellow and black heraldry scheme. And then he had quite a lot of designs and stuff like that. So we definitely played around. He had a rose and some fleur-de-lis on his coat of arms as well. So we're definitely going to try and play that into the scheme on the shields. The shields themselves are one of the bizarre points because the actual shield is kind of yellow from the kind of 2/3 up to the top. And then it's black for the bottom 2/3 of it. And then transfers mix around with that. Now, since we're going with a yellow and black for the cloth as well, it means that there's going to be yellow and black sitting next to yellow and black. So it's definitely going to be one of those ones that when I get to the layering stage of this, I'm going to have to be very careful and kind of define those shields. Here's an example right here. As you can see, I'm painting the bottom half of the black shield. And the barding is also black, so the bottom half of the shield just disappears. So when I get to the layering stage of that part, I'm really going to have to pay attention and to overemphasize those particular parts so that when you do look at the model at a passing glance or at a consistent glance, you will definitely see the shields stand out from the rest of the barding, rest of the horse. And that's kind of like a fun challenge and something I'm going to look forward to kind of getting stuck into. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, when I started this process, I had 2 top level patrons. Now there are 3, so I have a 3rd person who is interested, I think, in having their family crest used. So I have messaged them to ask them for their last name, because obviously I know them on Patreon and Twitch, but that they go by not their real names. So if they are interested, then tomorrow's video will be based around their coat of arms, their nightly household colors. And it's kind of interesting because I have absolutely no idea what he's going to come back with his name. So I have no idea what colors I shall be using in tomorrow's video, which kind of makes it fun. Which does mean that we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday's video colors and stuff planned out and are half done. It just leaves Friday left for me to either have another patron sign up and do his household scheme or pick one myself. Now there is a funny thing that is starting to occur with these particular knights, and it's only when I put this particular model into the unit at the end that I notice something. And I'm going to wait to the very end. I'm going to ask the question, does anybody else notice what I'd accidentally done? And if it is the case, and if something lines up with the new patrons family crest, that might dictate what I do for the last one. I know that's very vague and very crazy. I might give the game away on the old Patreon vlog update today, talk about it a little bit, but it could be interesting. But literally I put that third member into the unit at the end and was like, oh I wonder if my childhood is playing any part in my decisions these days. I'm not too sure. Now, this is also an interesting time because on yesterday's video, I did mention the fact that there are 3 not unreleased, but harder to get your hands on questing knights. And somebody reached out and commented the fact that I was completely incorrect, and there's indeed 4, which is fantastic news and also awful news, because I have to spend a fortune trying to get those 4 missing questing knights. One of them is not difficult to get anymore. I just have to buy that blister or that set of 3 questing knights that Games Workshop sell, not the command one, the other one. Now, unfortunately, I have no real use for the 2 extra knights in there because I already have them, I already built and I've already painted them. It's just the kind of disgraced knight that I need out of that set, so I'm going to have to buy that whole set for 1 knight, which is okay. And then there's 3 other knights, and what that means is that the unit of 6 knights that I'm painting now will get a back rank. There will be 10 questing knights in this unit, and I find that to be super exciting because it will be a full lance formation, 10 knights, all unique, all different, and I think that's gonna look incredible. Each one's gonna have a different story, and hopefully I can pick a few more personal heraldry color schemes out there. There's a couple of other people who have supported me along the way in more ways than just financially with Patreon, and I think they also deserve a little bit of love and attention, so I will be perhaps stealing their household schemes and adding them in as well. So I now have all the base coats on the miniature, the yellow, the black, the horse is going to stay that kind of grey tone. We've got the gold and the silver on, brown for all the barding, red and gold for kind of weapons and sheets and stuff like that. We're just going to throw Nuln Oil all over it like I have done for absolutely every single other Bretonnian miniature that I've painted so far for this army. I got the basing done, as I've done with every single other Bretonnian miniature. I'm actually doing all my old world models in this same basing scheme. Obviously, they haven't got the grass tufts or grass added to them just yet, but they're all going to get the same so that they all match in together. And then, of course, I'm going to lean heavily on the Duncan Roads 2 thin coats, triads to layer up the colors on these miniatures. Now, traditionally, I skip the base coat for the triad because I feel like I've kind of done that already with the contrast base coat and shade. But with some colors that are a little bit weaker, i.e. the yellows, me personally knowing that the yellow triad from Duncan is really good, I decided to just play it safe and go and do the mid-tone, the base coat, the mid-tone and the highlight from the yellow range. I didn't paint the yellow completely over with the base coat. I used it as basically like another highlight, so it's just 3 layers of highlighting, which may seem a little bit bizarre, but the result at the end I think was worth it. I really liked it, and I think it stood out a mile. Yellow being one of my least favorite colors to paint, but you know, it's fine. We did end up getting a yellow and black one in our Grail Knights as well, and I was trying to avoid duplicating color schemes, but that is okay. I think we've done them in slightly different ways. They definitely will look slightly different to each other on the tabletop, and that is okay. You can see even jumping up to the mid-tone, the yellow just starts to get a lot of warmth and a lot of brightness to it, which I really like. And I definitely think that it is a cloth yellow. I know that sounds bizarre, but like if you painted up power armor with this yellow, I don't think it would look right. Whereas when I'm doing it on the barding and the kind of filigree and stuff on the cloth on this model, I think it looks really, really good. So jumping up to the final highlight of the yellow and going in with some very light highlights there, just on the kind of raised areas, a few streaky highlights will make that yellow pop. Now, like I said in yesterday's video, and like some people were confused about in the first video, if you do not have access to 2 thin coats, you do not have to buy the 2 thin coats range of paints to follow these tutorials along. There is a conversion chart which will allow you to find Games Workshop and Army Painter colors that match these things. That is linked in the description below. So if you like what you see, you want to copy this color scheme, but you don't want to get those paints, you want to stick with Games Workshop paints, no problem. Description below, click on that, and there will literally be a chart that will show you which paints to use in its place. Okay, for the black side, we're going to go for Death Reaper and then the Dungeon Stone Grey. Now, I know this color scheme is supposed to be yellow and black, but I wanted to, like I said, overemphasize the black so that I could make those shields and stuff stand out. I felt that the only real way to do that was to push the black a little bit further than I was supposed to go and almost push it into a grey. I still think it sits kind of comfortably on the black spectrum. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is a little bit too grey. Whatever it is, I like it. When I know what it looks like at the end, and I'm happy with the colors I got on the black areas. Happy to leave it that way. I think it suits it. It doesn't just look like a flat black color. It's pretty cool. So here it is, the just kind of one step up, and it's still looking a little bit flat, and that's why we go to the Dungeon Stone Grey, which is the final highlight on the triad. And maybe I kind of went a little bit further than a final highlight. I used my normal kind of scratchy highlight style and highlighted those areas. And as you can see, it's definitely pushing it towards the grey spectrum, and it looks really bad when you can see black and grey together. But when I finish the highlight and all you can see is the grey, it definitely just kind of shows as a really dark black, or really dark grey into black. I think, I don't know, you guys can be the judge. Let me know in the comments below if you think I pushed it too far. Obviously I could just null and oil over that area again, or I could add a black contrast back over that again and darken it down, but I like the result. I think it looks kind of crisp, and I'm happy enough with it. Catachan flesh, of course, used for all of the barding, like I do on all my Bretonnian horses. It is really interesting that, like, I can pick mad color schemes for the barding. Usually it's 2 or 3 colors that make up the kind of barding and the heraldry color of the unit. But then all of the, like, the leathers, all of the metallics, all of the skin tones and stuff like that are all the same. So the majority of my Bretonnian painting is exactly the same. And if you learn those steps, how I do my silver, you know, how I do my faces, how I do my wood and my barding and stuff like that, then every time you watch a video, you're just like, okay, how did we do the cloth on this knight? And then you just have to pay attention to like 6 or 7 colors, and then boom, apply all the rest of the colors like you would for every knight, which I think is an easy system. It helps me to really churn through. And it's also another one of those really cool things that, you know, if you put an army beside itself, like 50 knights, and they're all different colors, but all of their barding is the same color, and all of their armor is the same color, and all of their, you know what I mean? Then it's still going to look like a cohesive military force. And then, of course, doing the dwarf and elf flesh color schemes, or just highlighting up his face really simply, really quickly and efficiently. He is in a very nice pose, the high guard with the broadsword of the great sword. I really like how it looks. Jumping across the Xandri Dust, this is what I used to highlight the skeleton horde color that I did for all the like wraps and bandages, and he's got his kind of sleeping bag and some grain sacks and all that kind of stuff for some food for him and food for his horse, and all the other things that a questing knight will have strapped to his saddle to make sure that he is okay on the march for a couple of days or weeks at a time. I'm sure they will hunt rabbit and stuff when they need to, but there's a few bits of kind of creature comforts that they will have to drag along with them on the back of their horse. I think a unit column of questing knights should probably have like a wagon cart or something like that along with them, with most of their creature comforts with them. Maybe they do. There's a cook and a guy who sets up a nice tent at the end of the evening. These guys just canter along on their horses for most of the day. Who knows? Okay, highlighting the red, and obviously I've gone for my really bright silver, and I'm highlighting all of the silver and all of the gold parts like I do on every other guy, so all the metallics and armor match. It is a very quick step to do. Now, when it comes to adding the transfers to these particular models, originally I was going to do a red rose and then 2 red fleur-de-lis. Now, unfortunately, the red rose pattern transfer was basically translucent, it was really see-through, and when I applied it to the black part of the shield, it just vanished. You couldn't see it at all. These are the red ones that I had originally chosen, and unfortunately, like, they just didn't work. So I had to switch to the same design but with white roses, which unfortunately isn't the same and isn't correct for the Raymond family crest, but I did show him what I had done and he liked the result. The red fleur-de-lis, the yellow and the black all make sense. The rose color is unfortunately just going to be a little bit wrong, but that's okay. We're in a fantasy universe here. He's still proud to have Sir Timothy of Raymond on the battlefield, ready to charge down and fight for the glory of the lady, for the glory of his house, and for the glory of his name. So one more questing knight is complete. Really like how it looks. They really do come to life when you glue that extra bit onto the back and show the extra detail. Here is the first 3 questing knights ready and in a line. And when I saw this picture, that's when my mind jumped and I kind of was like, wait, am I accidentally doing what I think I'm doing? You guys can determine whether you figured out what I'm nearly accidentally doing with that picture. It's up to you. We'll see if anybody spots it. But here he is finished off in all his glory. And like I was saying earlier, those back bits really do make a huge difference for the questing knights. And of course, the can't have an end of this video without adding the guide to the unit and seeing it all swish. A little bit bright on the lights there, a little bit harsh looking, but okay guys, and there we have it, another questing knight finished, complete, looking really well. Super happy and pleased with that. And of course, adding it to the unit, that is literally half the unit is now complete. Technically a little more than half because we have the Twitch stream one half done as well. So we've actually broken the back of the questing knight project, and so far I'm really liking it. We do have a red, pink and a yellow one, so you know what that reminds me of, right? Go, go, Power Rangers. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the video series. If you are, make sure you give the video a like. Ask me any questions you want in the comments below. I get back to absolutely everybody. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all future videos, including me wanting to give away a Titan at the end of this year. So by the end of 2024, I want to give a Titan away on my channel if I reach certain subscriber goals. They are lofty goals, but I do hope to hit them. 65,000 subscribers, I will give away a Warhound. 85,000 subscribers, I will give away a Reaver. And 100,000 subscribers, I will give away a Warlord Titan to one of my subscribers. So if that's something that you think you're excited or interested in, the only thing you have to do is enter. And as a caveat to that, if a Titan is not something that you are interested in, then we can jump online together and you can just add the equivalent value to a basket on Forge World and order straight to your door. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. All right, thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one.